Hello and welcome to another episode of Auto Trash. This is a 18 plus viewing, so please be advised there are sexual references and swearing in this video. You have been warned. I am Matt, and I absolutely love the new Toy World Skull Cruncher. It looks awesome.
I'm Marcus. I'm a fucking gobby one who doesn't swear.
And I'm Roger, and tonight I'm the professional one.
Bullshit.
And tonight, our special guest, please introduce yourself.
I'm James Mitchell, aka PUMPKINGONZO.
James, welcome to the programme.
Yes, welcome. And
hi,
also,
hello.
First thing I need to ask is how the bloody hell did you come up with that nickname?
Yeah, it's for a few reasons. It was my eBay name, and I thought it was best to keep the names on forums and so forth the same. So sort of kept that identity, but also more meaningful than that. It was the names broken up into two. One of the names is a nickname for one of my children, so that's, I guess, sentimental, and the other names is it's not meant to be as depressing, but the second sort of name was a nickname for a friend of mine who died at quite a young age, so it's a little bit out of respect for him, really. So yeah, it's for one of my children, and for sort of an old friend. So it might look a bit of a weird name as such, but yeah, to me it's it's quite meaningful.
Oh, that's quite lovely. It is a good name anyway.
Do you want me to ask the first question?
Why, yes, go ahead.
Well, James, we get everybody onto the programme, and the first question we ask is, do you have a warden?
No, warden, not traffic warden, yeah.
You do?
Unless you've got a traffic warden in the basement or something, then we should be worried.
No, the actual figure warden, actually, no, I don't.
Right, right, get him out of there, Jesus Christ. Right, you're gone, you're shit.
Give a shameless,
that's it. No.
A shameless plug out to Andy at Kapow. Go and see him while he's got some in on the last shipment.
Yeah, it's the last shipment. Get your ass there now. You need a warden.
Really nice and a good figure you could customise into Cerebros.
Yep.
I must admit, yeah, most people I know who own it have given me really, really good feedback on it, but it does look nice, but I don't know, if for some reason it just hasn't really grabbed me, to be honest.
You have to have it in hand.
Yeah,
the figure, right.
That is right. In hand, it works.
It's got a gut crunch, James.
Oh,
okay.
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
Have the ab crunch, yeah.
Ratchety, clickety goodness. It makes me cream every time. It's gorgeous.
Right, so
okay.
So for the viewers, how about you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you actually do?
Yeah, I'm a full-time customizer. I think I'm lucky in my job that 7 days a week basically I get to basically paint Transformers all the time, and my life really is it's just obsessed with Transformers. But being a fan since about the age of 7 or 8, when they came out in the mid '80s, giving my age away. They've been a massive part of my life for the best part of nearly 30 years. So to have Transformers as a 7, 8-year-old kid, and at my age now to be working with them as a full-time job is incredible.
So you've collected since G1, the very first started.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the original cartoons. I remember watching all them. When they first came out, and the original initial batch of figures, the original Generation 1, I had not all of them but quite a few, so I've been into them right from the start, definitely.
Do you have a favourite G1 figure?
Yeah, my the actual sort of Generation 1 characters, my favourite of all time are definitely the Stunticons, but actual toy, if you mean, was Hot Rod was my favourite Generation 1 toy, and I've still got that one now.
Generation 1 Hot Rod?
Yeah, definitely. It's a strange one because he's not even a favourite character as such, but the actual Generation 1 toy, for some reason, particularly the alt mode of a Hot Rod, I just absolutely love that figure. And I remember getting that one, as a young kid. I've still got images of that figure. So I've unfortunately I sold off quite a lot of my collection when I lost interest, and then got back into them. But the Generation 1 Hot Rod, I always kept that, and I absolutely love that figure.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Anything else to add, Roger? So Generation 1.
Yeah.
Generation 1's before me.
Like I say,
on the Hot Rod then,
yeah.
Was the one you owned, was it Plastic Toad, or was it Metal Toad, or Target Master?
So it's actually, no, it's not the Target Master. I'm pretty sure it's actually black plastic feet.
Oh yeah, UK release.
Yeah. Like I say, that the Stunticons always will be my favourite characters, but as a toy, definitely Hot Rod. I love that figure.
You probably have fans projects Menasor then, if you really like the Stunticons.
Well, that's the thing. They've always been my favourite, but for some reason, the fans project ones that I bought the first two. For me, they were too small. They just didn't really do it for me, and I sold those first two figures, and I didn't carry on collecting them.
They're fucking shit. Fucking pieces of shit.
You're allowed to say that, James. You're allowed to say the crap.
Yeah. After me saying I was such a big fan, but yeah, in general, I love the Stunticons, but those figures, they just didn't appeal to me at all.
Oh,
unfortunately.
Okay. All right. I've got a question for you, my friend. What kind of figures do you like to collect? Like Transformers, or do you collect other things apart from them?
Yeah, I've got quite an obsessive, I think, collecting habits. Transformers, I've got probably about 300 figures. Star Wars, I've been collecting for donkey's years. I've got well over 300 Star Wars figures. Yeah. Arsenal memorabilia as well. I actually collect, but it's mainly Transformers. That's my biggest passion and love.
Oh. No, Transformers. It's what we're all here. So with the kind of figures that you got, what was I going to say? With obviously, do you have like a with the ones you collected? What got you back into collecting? Because you mentioned that you did like collect it like for when you were a kid, but then you sort of like sold them when you got out of it, but then you got back into it. What made what made you jump back into the fandom after all that time?
Right, yeah, sure. So yeah, I was, collected the original ones. I was probably, I don't know, maybe something like 15 or 16. I still had, loads of Generation 1 figures. Slowly sold them off. Got into like really depressing things like following Arsenal, seeing them regularly, not really winning trophies. Getting more and more depressed with us never winning much.
We'll win the FA Cup, James. Don't worry.
Hopefully, but I still wouldn't like to say you can never. I think the only thing you can trust Arsenal to do is fuck things up, basically. So I've still got. I'm still quite traumatised by losing that cup final to Birmingham a few years ago.
Yeah.
I think that was a League Cup final. I actually remember when Arsenal conceded that stupid late goal. Actually going outside, sitting on the pavement. Just
at this point, Marcus shows his Birmingham City tattoo. CCFC. Boo.
Boo. Hiss. Boo.
So yeah, so many disappointments with them and so forth. I think it was possibly the Classics Prowl figure. I'm pretty sure it's a Classics Prowl figure. I think they had some in Argos maybe. And yeah, I started to collect the Classics figures. I think it was maybe 2006 or I might be wrong, but around that sort of time was when I really got back into them. That sort of range of Classics figures I just thought were absolutely incredible, and that's when I really started to get back into them.
Ah, that's cool. That's cool. Marcus has a question for you. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yes. Now, you are married and you have children, is that correct?
Yes. Yep. Married and 2 children. Yep.
That's nice. But, and this is the big but, everybody knows this, does your wife appreciate you collecting Transformers? Toys that are designed for children, and you're a man.
Yeah, she definitely thinks I've got too many. Yeah, like I've said, I've got about 300. It's a little bit excessive, but I am gradually selling off quite a few, unfortunately, just because just lack of room, really. But I can't be too harsh for her because she was the main person who last November talked me into giving up my job and going full-time customizing. So she was actually the main reason I actually went full-time.
Aww.
She's very supportive of your creativity.
Definitely, yeah. I think it's been 5, maybe 6 years that I started painting Transformers. I always used to draw and colour as a child, so I think that sort of artistic streak was always there. Basically, when I started collecting the classics figures, it was mainly the Stunticons I wanted. So I actually started painting, some of those molds that came out, the classics figures. I started painting them. That's when I got into it, just purely as fun, just obviously as a hobby. Basically became obsessed with painting Transformers. And like I say, with drawing and doing art as a child, then to paint the Transformers, it just, seemed to obviously link together. And yeah, she was without doubt the main reason why I'm doing what I'm doing now.
So, do you ever sit there in your workshop painting the Transformers or customising them, and your children help you in any way? Do you involve them in your hobby?
They would like to, but I think most of the time, because it's quite expensive figures I'm painting, and I feel a little bit mean, but I think one day I'll probably just need to give them some cheap figures and just let them go for it. But they don't get overly involved, no.
They'll sit and watch Peppa Pig instead.
Oh God, yeah. We've gone through that phase. It's pretty much all My Little Pony. Everything's My Little Pony now for some reason.
No. Oh God. The end of the world.
You wait.
The end of the world.
You wait till Luke hears this.
I've tried to get them into Transformers, Thundercats, He-Man, all stuff like that.
And stuff.
Yeah, and they're not really interested. They just want to watch My Little Pony all the time. So that's cool.
How old are they?
I've got a 6-year-old boy who quite worryingly loves My Little Pony, and
oh no! Oh shit!
I know. And I've got an 11-year-old girl, and she actually spends, as soon as she gets home from school, she'll actually just draw. She draws and colours My Little Pony, sort of, characters all the time. And I must admit, her drawing and colouring is absolutely incredible. So she definitely seems to be a natural at drawing.
Got it from you.
You find it's nice that your children follow their own paths?
Yeah, definitely. I think when my son was quite young, say probably three or four, I used to watch Transformers, the original cartoons, and he used to really, really laugh at Starscream, Grimlock, but apart from those two, he wasn't really that interested. And yeah, I'd let them, follow whatever they want. I wouldn't try and brainwash them into anything at all.
That's not
I would, but the first thing we would do is brainwash them into Transformers. If they try watching something that isn't that, they get the smack.
Well, it worked with football as well, because I'd really have liked my son to have liked football, but he really doesn't like it. But to be honest, after the last 9 years of the depression I've suffered with Arsenal,
I'm in the same boat, mate, don't worry. Yeah.
Yeah, FA Cup final aside, the last 9 years have been, quite morbid, it's probably best he doesn't get into them, else it'd just be lots of disappointment, so...
Oh dear.
Although, actually, not liking football and loving My Little Pony is a tiny bit worrying, but not to worry.
Right. I've got a question quickly, if it's okay to interrupt.
Yep.
You say you've been painting the figures for 6 years, yeah?
Yep.
How come we haven't really seen them so much on eBay, because I know you put a lot on eBay. for like the last 9-12 months, maybe.
Yeah, that's the last. Yeah, like the time period you're talking about. I've been probably doing more commissions, which I wouldn't have done maybe so much in the past. So I think basically with painting them, it was like a couple year period that it was purely done for fun. Then say after 2 years, I started to sell them, tried to get my name out there, which is really, really difficult. Tried to stay polite, respectful to everyone, to, try and, you want to come across as a decent person, not some idiot. Yeah, I think I spent 2 years trying to sell my name. I think I had like really, really shocking sales, which is to be expected. I had really, really poor sales for about a year or so, but I think because I was so passionate to make it work, just kept on working hard. And at the end of the day, a hobby is a hobby to start off with. It doesn't matter if you're good at it or bad at it. It's because it's something you're passionate about, something you care about. So it doesn't matter if you're good or bad at it. You should just keep trying and enjoying it. And say after a year of bad sales, I kept trying. They started to pick up. I started to get my work out there. My name, was started to get known better. After say a couple of years of sales, things started to improve. And the last year or so has pretty much I've just been mainly doing commissions, with the odd eBay sell here and there, but I don't put loads on eBay now. No.
Do you find that since it's a hobby and a business, that it dilutes your passion for it because you literally live in it 24/7?
No, fantastic question. And quite a few people said to me, maybe advised me not to give up my job, which I had I was a manager for 14 years, my previous job, and it was quite a good position to give that away to do something which was almost like a pipe dream. It was a gamble, but people did say to me something I was so passionate about to do full time, I might lose interest. But I think since painting them all the time, I actually love the job even more. I think I'm really, I think I'm really lucky that I basically do for a living what I absolutely love doing, and what's really, really important to me. And I don't think maybe many people get a chance to do a job that is also their hobby. And I feel really, really lucky. I don't take it for granted, and I love what I do. And so basically since November going full time, I'd say my passion is even higher now, and I could paint 6-7 days a week, and I never ever get frustrated or bored doing it. Never.
That's good then.
In the dream, mate.
That's
definitely,
right,
definitely.
Yeah, feel privileged to do it, wouldn't you?
Definitely, I'm really, really, really lucky to be doing this. And like I said earlier, my wife talked me into doing it. She kept on saying to me, "Regret what you haven't done in life." So, I was getting quite a lot of commission requests, which was good. And I think because I'm maybe a slightly negative person, I would have stayed in my old job. But she kept saying to me, "You're not happy. Painting Transformers is what you love doing. Just go for it." And I'm so pleased I did.
I think we can see now why she's your wife.
Yes, absolutely.
You're very lucky, mate.
Yeah, very lucky.
Yeah, I'd say for about 6 months she was telling me just to give up my job and go full-time painting. And she said to me, if it didn't work, you just have to try and get another job, and at least you took the chance. At least you know if it worked or if it didn't. But she just kept on and on saying to me, regret in life what you haven't done.
That's good philosophy. It's great.
Yep.
Right. So Roger has a question.
Okay.
So what I was going to say was what is your actual favorite thing about Transformers? Is it like the series of the comics or the cartoon?
Series, you name it.
Yeah,
it's the original cartoons. I know they're a touch cheesy, but I still love those cartoons now. I still watch them. I love the original cartoons. I was never actually into the comics. I had a really good friend at a young age who was the opposite. He wasn't so fussed about the cartoons, but he loved the comics. The comics didn't, I can appreciate them, and I've seen them and so forth, but I was never really that into the comics. It was just the original cartoon for me. And toys wise, now that I had all the the classics, I still like them, but I just haven't got room. I'm slowly painting them or selling them on. I'm pretty much now, I'm Masterpiece and third party, but that's all I pretty much collect now. The Masterpiece figures.
Is that mainly for customizing?
Yes and no. My own collection now really is pretty much purely based on Masterpiece figures and third party, and to do whether it's customs, commission work, I'll pretty much take any work, but as a preference, the Masterpiece Seekers, as people have probably known because I seem to do them all the time, but Masterpiece Seekers and the Masterpiece Cars are definitely my favourite figures because I just love the transformation, and I love the poses you get out of them, and the Masterpiece figures are they're my favourite ones to collect, and they're definitely my favourite figures to paint as well. And I find some of the Masterpiece figures, they're not always easy to paint, but I think that's better because it's more of a challenge. So
it's a learning process still for you then, isn't it?
A little, yeah, but I think I do so many Masterpiece Seekers and so forth, and again, don't take anything for granted because every custom or commission I look upon as exciting and a new challenge. But I guess because I've done so many Masterpiece Seekers, for example, I can do them. If it doesn't sound arrogant, but I can do them quite easy now. And every one, though, I'd put 100% in, and I love every one I do. It's a new challenge, and it's good.
Right, with a Masterpiece, then, do you actually have a particular favourite Masterpiece figure?
Cool.
I think we might know what the answer's going to be. Seekers! Seekers! Seekers!
I guess the MP11 Starscream is fantastic.
Yes. I finally got that. Finally got that last week. It's gorgeous. I fucking love it. It's brilliant. Awesome.
It is incredible, yeah, and also like the Masterpiece Soundwave is fantastic. But I think the third-party figures as well. I think Quakewave takes some beating. That's just an amazing figure. I love the sort of bulky feel to that. It feels really heavy. It's sturdy. I just think that's an absolutely incredible figure. So fan toys for me, I'm definitely going to be following their Dinobots, etc. And
same here.
Yeah.
Right, Marcus has a question, quick.
Okay.
Yes, it's actually a good question. You do MP Seekers.
To ask shit
paint them. You ever think that you could customise them to be Coneheads?
Well, yeah. A friend of mine, Kevin Tigerblade, he recently the eye gear Coneheads. He basically made them, from the MP11 mold. He's built all them. He did a fantastic job. I've painted Dirge already. Thrust and Ramjet I should have done a long time ago, but I've been busy with commissions and so forth. I've actually got Kevin's Thrust and Ramjet here. I've been looking at them for a couple of months now. I really need to crack on and paint them, but yeah, the sort of MP11 mold with the Coneheads, yeah, but he did a fantastic job there, and yeah, I've luckily got those in my house and look at them every day.
And I need to be talking to you. I want some Coneheads. I think I'm not the only one either.
No, I want some as well, Marcus. Yeah, we'll have to be your first customers, James.
Yeah, it's funny, yeah, because I've got the the proper eye gear Conehead still boxed that I've had for a long time. I haven't opened. Then I've got Tigerblade's ones he's customised. So I've got
Sell them to me.
I've got a couple of sets of Coneheads, and yeah.
Right, just a quick follow-up. What you say about you loved the G1 cartoon with your the series? Have you watched any of the other Transformers series, like for example Beast Wars, Armada, Animated, stuff like that? Have you watched any of those, and do you think they're any good in your honest opinion?
It's going to be probably quite a dull, brief answer, but I have tried them. But the ones you've mentioned, again, they just didn't really appeal to me. I didn't really feel it. I didn't get into them, and I'm pretty much the Generation 1 cartoons, and that's and the 86. The movie. Obviously, I still think it's fantastic. The proper movie. Yeah. Apart from Generation 1, I'm not really into much else. So I'm a bit rigid there, but
that way
I'm not really into much else. No.
It's good that you know what you follow.
Definitely.
That's all right. All right. I have a question. Funny enough. What is your honest opinion on Michael Bay's 3 movies that he's done? And what about the boo, piss, boo? And what about the upcoming film as well? And how would you compare these films to the original cartoon movie from 1986.
Oh yeah, again, I'm sure there'll be a massive amount of people who totally disagree with me, but for, I'm not saying I'm right or wrong, just my opinion.
Exactly, your opinion. It's all fine. You can rip these movies a new one, or you can praise them. We really don't mind.
I passionately, really, really do not like any of the Michael Bay films. They just, I've watched them, and I just don't like them.
All right, go on. Give us an example of what you hate. Go on, give us an example of what you hate with the movies.
I think the characteristics. I think the characteristics of some of the characters, it's wrong. I think the film's a little bit. I know it's going to be action packed, but I think it's some of them are too. I don't know. I just don't like it. It just seems to be 100 miles an hour sometimes. I don't know. I just can't get into it.
Like
it just doesn't.
You say about characteristics. Optimus, for example, in the original cartoon, is a hero. In the movies, he's a bit morbid. He's a bit of a sociopath, I think.
Bipolar.
Yeah, bipolar. Yeah, go on. Yeah, we'll call him Bipolar Prime. So he'll be awesome 1 minute, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, my old mentor. I'll just shoot you. Exactly. He's like, what the fuck? God, yeah. What about the upcoming film then? Who's shown any interest whatsoever, or did you just look at it and think?
Not overly. No, to be honest.
No interest to see what the Dinobots are like.
Yeah, Dinobots.
Awesome. Possibly, but again, yeah, I'm not. I can't say I'm overly interested, to be honest.
I mean, I'm still seeing it. We all. This is a problem with Michael Bay's movies. Everyone sees his movies, like one film he's done, and think, oh, that's pretty shit. But then all of a sudden, he gets to another one, and think, well, he might have learned his lesson. Then more people turn up, and that is why Transformers has made so much money. First one, okay. Then it's like, oh, it's gonna be another one. Oh, then utter dog shit. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, about the third one. Oh, he might have learned his lesson there. He might have been alright. Oh no, maybe not. I know he said he wanted to make the movie story driven, but fuck me, don't make it full of exposition and boring ass shit. Jesus H. Christ.
Only watching to moan.
Yeah, watching to moan, exactly. Oh, what? Go on, Roger. What were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say, you said earlier about that you like Star Wars.
Yeah.
So will you go and watch that new movie next year?
Oh yes, Episode 7.
Yeah, no, I definitely, Transformers more so my passion, but yeah, certainly Star Wars. I'll always check out the films, and
even with the movies being so bad, we still think they're enjoyable in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah. Are you going to be upset the Ewoks aren't in it?
Yeah. I can definitely tolerate them.
Or destroy the Star for the Ewoks.
I was actually going to ask you, you know your recent custom, the MP Acid Storm into Skywarp.
All right, yep.
Are you going to customize it with a purple cone instead of the? Is it a golden cone you've got on it at the moment?
Yeah, it's sort of metallic black, but yeah, a few people have said to me about the tip being purple. So yeah, I think the last couple I've done, there has been some, minor sort of intricate changes, like the tail fins I did on the previous one were purple, this one black. I don't change them, I guess, that much, but I do like to do just one or two slight changes here and there now and again, just to make it a little bit different.
Yeah, I still think it's amazing custom. I was going to ask you, you do the Masterpiece jets on different molds, don't you? So is the Acid Storm, because I've heard some people moan about it, say it's not quite as good quality as Takara. Will you like chop and change between like the Hasbro versions and Takaras for, maybe?
Yeah, I've like a couple of the Seekers I did were from iGear molds. They were actually really, really good. Like the MP11, if you like, the Acid Storm one and the Thundercracker one. The Thundercracker MP11 mold, in my opinion, is much easier to paint than the Acid Storm one. The Acid Storm figure, the nose cone section during a transformation can scratch. There's so many, which there's going to be in a lot of figures, so that's part of the job for me. But there's so many potential rub points on the Acid Storm figure, and I don't think people maybe appreciate how long it takes. I can sometimes take 2 or 3 days solid just doing prep work on those figures, priming them with numerous coats, but then transforming them trying to eradicate all the rub spots, and there's an enormous amount of prep work that goes into them. But yeah, the Acid Storm, it is quite a difficult figure, to be honest, to customize or to paint. And obviously, like the greenness, the colour, you can go forever and ever going over bits. So fantastic mould, but it's not the easiest thing to paint, that one.
Something I've got to say. You say you're trying to find the rub spots. Did you say?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realise you were trying to find the G spot on the freaking Acid Storm. There, Christ Almighty!
Turns into Thrust, and that's how he gets kids.
Yeah, exactly. Right, so I need to ask you quick. With obviously, you don't like the Michael Bay movies. I know a lot of people don't.
Right.
Give us a short review and what you love the most about the cartoon movie.
Cartoon movie?
Yeah, the 86.
I just found it really emotional. I thought I guess because I remember seeing it endless times in the cinema when it came out. So, you know, it's I've got such a connection with it from, you know, a young age, and I love the colour. I really like the music in it. I just think everything in that film just blends really, really well, and I think even now it's fantastic to watch. I think it's got a good storyline, and the integration of like old and newer characters. I think it flows really, really nicely. The film, it's not too fast, it's not too slow. It's happy, it's sad. It's got, you know, a great mixture of emotions in the film.
Optimus Prime kicking the bucket for one of them.
Yeah, I remember. I did. I remember crying, going with a couple of friends, and them looking at me with absolute horror that I'd let them down.
You're just pulling your eyes out in the cinema, and they're like, "Mate, you're getting tears in the popcorn. Could you not do that?"
I did, and a bit of a stupid story, but yeah, I remember a friend of mine when I started crying actually moved away in disgust because, you know, it's just not a good thing to do. And I remember just after that, I was eating, I don't know, a Kit Kat or something, and silver foil, whatever, went onto a filling. That really hurt. That made me cry even more. And then it just got really, really embarrassing. And I remember. Quite a tragic memory, really, to go with mine.
The wounds are fatal.
I feel bad for laughing, but oh dear.
No, it's fine.
It's just too funny.
It only traumatized me for about 5 or 6 years, and then that new depression went on to Arsenal and so forth. So it's always there, just in different forms.
Oh, you're always upset in some way, shape, or form. Optimus Prime dying, Arsenal doing lots of crap. Yeah, you know, find out Michael Bay is going to be directing the Transformers films. It's not good, really, is it? I don't know.
Definitely not.
I don't know if Transformers is a good thing for your sanity.
It's quite good though, you know, because like a few people like say to me that I remind them of something like a tortured soul, which I actually quite like. I quite like that sort of morbid blackness, moody sort of sadness. So it's all good.
I'm the same there, to be honest. I like all that. I'm a bit dark.
Yeah, I think sometimes the deeper and more sort of philosophical, the better.
Oh yeah. Go on, Marcus. Marcus wants to quickly say something.
Right. This might sound like a silly question, but have you ever thought of actually doing a NPC cat in Arsenal colours, specifically for yourself?
Ooh, go on, do one. I'll have it off.
That's cool. That's cool. You got to do it.
Tell you what, it would actually be quite good to do like an Arsenal crest.
There we go.
I'd quite like that
on the wings instead of.
This could be a trend. Everyone gets a sea cat with their football team on it. Yeah. So when their football team loses, they get the sea cat and throw it out the flipping window.
That's it.
That is an incredibly unique, different idea, and yeah, I've already got images in my head for that. So thank you.
Oh yeah. Oh. That'd be good.
That'd be of help.
Can I ask a question?
No.
I was going to say, on your customizing, people can get in touch with you, can't they? And you'll do commissions, but you won't just limit yourself to like G1 or Masterpiece for them. You'll do anything, won't you?
Yeah, sure. I'll do Generation 1 figures, classics, Masterpiece, but yeah, pretty much anything. I'll talk to anyone about any, work they want to do. I'm quite, like I say, I've got a preference, but I'm still open-minded, and yeah, I get quite a few, commission requests from my website, my Facebook page. It's ridiculous in a way, but in a good way. I never expected my Facebook page to be like it is. I started it, I think, in February. I thought if I could get 200 or 300 likes on that page, I'd have been quite pleased. And the amount of likes I've got on there now is, it's an honour, and I didn't expect that, but I'm really, really pleased that, some people seem to like my work, and because you never know what people's conception or reaction is going to be to your work. So, to put your work out there and to take good or bad feedback, all feedback's fantastic. But I think my Facebook page has been really good for me, and I'm really happy that it seems to be quite popular.
It's like when you get one person just say, "Oh, I'm not entirely sure if this is the best work you could do," and you think, "Oh, okay, you're some sort of customizer yourself. Do you know how to do the paint job?" They're like, "Well, no." And then you go, "Well, fuck off then. You can have it where you don't know what you're talking about. I do.
I obviously can't tell anyone to fuck off, but I know what you mean, yeah."
Oh dear. No, I have something though. What I've noticed with a lot of people when it comes to customization or paint jobs, any way, shape or form with the Transformers or any toys, a lot of people started off doing that sort of thing from playing Warhammer. A lot of people I know used to play Warhammer, and then they thought, "Oh, that was my inspiration to kick off onto doing good customizations for paint jobs on the Transformers and other toys," because they just spent hours and hours with this tiny little paintbrush and a freaking magnifying glass trying to paint a shield that's about 1 millimeter wide. So they know how to get deep in there. So I thought, like, with you, when it comes to your customizations, what is it? Just the idea of drawing and colouring in back from when you were younger? Is that how you sort of knew how to do the good paint on the plastic of the toys, or was it something else that you tried it on before doing it?
Yeah, nothing major. Like the only other things I've customized or painted really. I started actually painting some Star Wars figures because I wanted black sort of clone troopers. And my kids went through a phase, well, me as well, but we all love the old Crash Bandicoot games.
Oh, yes, I love Crash Bandicoot. My cousin,
and you get like...
All right, so I got to say here. My cousin convinced me when I was 6 years old that when you spin the box to get the Aku Aku mask out, that apparently the first thing he says is "bugger off." Dun-dun-dun. He convinced me that he told you to bugger off, open the box, and he does sound like he's telling you to bugger off when you get him out of the box. Probably reading the magazine or something. He's sitting in the box, probably reading the magazine or something. He's like, "Oh, really? No, I don't want to come with you." "Oh, fine, bugger off." Sorry.
I think. No, that's okay. I think there's like the Nitro like carts and the TNT carts, that are quite iconic in the games, and from the just like the brown boxes you could get with some of the figures, which are stupidly expensive, but I bought quite a lot of those and painted them red, green. So we had like Nitro and TNT carts. I painted a few Crash Bandicoot figures. I think there's an Engin figure I painted. So yeah, I have painted Crash Bandicoot stuff. Star Wars, but yeah, mainly Transformers. But I think with your original question, painting them, I was awful when I started painting Transformers. It was trial and error, really. I never really asked for much advice from people. I just tried out different paints, different techniques on different figures, and yeah, not a very successful start. But I basically just experimented, kept trying, and then eventually found a system that worked for me.
Exactly. So you persevered, basically. So that's all right.
Definitely, yeah.
That's good.
Definitely.
So then, Marcus is going to ask you a question now.
Okay.
Yes, you stated before we done the podcast that you'd like to do some shout-outs. I think now is the perfect time before we wind up.
Okay. Hopefully it won't. Yeah, if I haven't put people to sleep already, hopefully this won't turn into too long.
It's been really interesting, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sorry. I've got about 300 odd names to basically say a thank you to. Slight exaggeration. Although I guess people who struggle to sleep, if they've listened to this or they listen to me reading out these names, that probably help them sleep in the future. But yeah, like I've already touched on that, I guess. But yeah, to my wife, I'd say thank you because she's the main reason I'm doing this now.
Yeah, thank you, wife.
And another person who sometimes gets a little bit of stick, although in general his work, is obviously he's got a massive following. I would actually like to say thanks to Frenzy Rumble, purely because he was an inspiration to me when I started. His work, I think, was and still is absolutely fantastic. He probably wouldn't remember, but on Transformers World a couple of years ago, he actually complimented a few of my customs, which, it is someone of his stature to give any sort of comment is fantastic. And I have had a bit of contact with friends who rumble on Facebook, and I have to say, from my opinion, he's always been really supportive, really friendly, just really, really nice chap to me. So I'd like to say thanks to him for showcasing his work, but also because he's always been very, very nice to me. So I'd like to say thanks to him. Andy from Kapow, tremendous bloke.
Andy, yep.
So I don't quite know how it's going to be worded or sort of announced, but myself and Tiger Blade, we're going to be doing some commissions through hopefully Kapow Toys. So to get some sort of recognition or any sort of link to Andy and Kapow Toys, is a massive honour. I've been talking to Andy on and off since about Christmas, or he was talking to me about my work and trying to do something. So I have total respect to him. Transformers World, where I spend quite a lot of time on the forum, I'd just like to say a thanks to a few people there who have been really supportive to me and really good friends. Morgan or Stroke Genetic, he's a good friend of mine. Tiger Blade, as I've mentioned, always been really supportive to me. Brumbot, Wheel Forest, Sweeney 28, they're good friends to me and they've been supportive of my work. Motor Thing, incredibly funny chap who's been really, really supportive of me. Master Blaster, great friend of mine, really supportive. Then in the Radicon section, people who customize, there's a chap called Storm Vapor. I love his work. He's always been good to me. Alpha Matrix, Super Quad 7 is fantastic to me, incredibly helpful, gives loads of time to help me. Warper of Sky is a customizer I like. Son of Nemesis, and I'm sure people know his work. He's one of my best friends in the Transformers world. I talk to him loads. His work is work.
Until now.
His work is just fantastic, and I'm really good friends with Zach. One of my best friends, and I really do think a lot of him. Then since I've been on Facebook, to be honest, not just saying it, but Roger's been a magnificent friend and a huge help to me. Listen to me moan all the time about Arsenal.
No, it's been a pleasure to moan with you, mate.
That's okay. King Bots Customs, absolutely wonderful chap. I love him to bits. He's been really supportive of my work. I talk to him quite a lot. Really, really nice chap. And then three more people, really. My dad, who unfortunately died in 2008. But when I sort of first got into painting, he took the piss out of me a little bit. A chap of my age collecting and painting plastic toys, but he was supportive of my early work. He said to me, if that's what you're really passionate about, really like doing, just go for it. So he was really supportive. Unfortunately, he's not here anymore, but I'd like to think, he'd be really proud if he saw now what I was doing from
he
what
will
I
be,
was
mate.
doing
He will
years
be.
ago. And then, the last two people, really, there's a chap, Steve, his username Steve33 from Transformers World. My best friend, talk to him daily. Another long-suffering gooner, unfortunately, but I talk to him about football, Transformers. He's a tower of strength. He's always there for me. Listens to my morbid, depressing shite all the time. He's really supportive. He's fantastic. And then lastly, there's an American girl called Emily. She's a fantastic friend to me. Again, really supportive. I've done lots and lots of commission work for her, but more than that, as a customer, whatever. I don't look upon it like that. She's a good friend. She's really supportive, positive of my work, and I'd like to say a special thank you to her. And that's pretty much it.
Are you sure
A
you
small
want
round of applause.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well done, sir.
Sure didn't want to add anyone else to that, for Christ's sake.
I know. To be honest, there was a few more names, but I thought I'd try and narrow it down to about 20. But I would have felt guilty if I didn't mention them, because they've all been, in the last 3, 4, 5 years, they've all been really supportive to me, really friendly, and I just wanted to say thanks to all of them for putting up with me, basically.
I have
I'd
one
like to say
last
thank you
question.
to you for joining us this evening.
No, that's okay.
Absolute pleasure, sir.
I was
One
quite
last
nervous.
question
I'm happy.
for you, James. One last
Okay.
question.
Okay.
Are you going to join us at AA for a pint?
I definitely will try to. Like initially, like months and months ago, I thought about getting a table and so forth. But I thought to fill up a table, I'd need to be like painting like so many figures, and unfortunately, I need to do customs commissions like everyone else. I need to pay the bills and so forth. I don't look at my job as trying to earn money, because my job is to my job first and foremost is fun, passion. It's what I love doing. Then money comes second. But AA, I would love to go. I fully intend to, but it'd probably just be maybe to go for a day, meet a few people, and to have a pint. So I will try and make it there.
If you do come on the Friday night, you are welcome to come to HOSCON in Marcus's room for a couple of hours, because it's going to be our first official Hands of Steel meetup, and you are a member, so you are more than welcome. Bring a couple of customs and try and sell them there.
Definitely, no, that would be nice. And if I have too much to drink, I might even give one away. So who knows?
Quick!
Oh, yes, me! I think Hoscon's going to end up looking up Mos Eisley Cantina, for Christ's sake, from Star Wars.
Yes, it is. As long as no one gets out their weapon and cuts my arm off.
And Roger shot first.
Yeah, that's probably what it would be like. Thanks, James. Thanks for everything tonight. You've been absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
Yes,
agreed.
Thanks very much for having me. Thank you.
No problem.